Hello everyone, and welcome. Weatherman promised no snow today. I left the house, it was nice and sunny. I drive out here, it's cloudy, it's snowing, and it's yucky. Oh well, we're only out here for the afternoon. I brought out the new sled. It's only an afternoon trip. I don't need all this space, but I wanted to give it a test run. I bought a new 8x10 tarp. That should give me plenty of size to cover whatever load I put in there. For today it'll be overkill, but when we come out on a camping trip, there will be quite a bit of gear. So I try and set the tarp so that it's 10 feet this way and 8 feet across, so that I can put my gear inside, wrap it with the tarp, and then tie it down. Just our pack in there. Our chair, I don't think we're going to use it, but we'll see. That's about it for now. It's not a massive load, but at least it'll give us an idea on how the sled works. Now, in the last video I had said that I was going to just keep a bundle with me to tie my stuff down. I think I'm going to leave it tied to the sled. I left the house today and I almost forgot this bundle at home. So it's got a loop on it, so I'm just going to push the loop through and feed the whole bundle through it. And now that's not going to go anywhere. But now that the bundle is tied on, it's just a matter of weaving it through. Then I just tuck the excess underneath. My load is secured. I know I'm going to be doing some shoveling today. So I always put the shovel just on top, and I use a few bungee cords to hold it in place. Shovel is secure, not going anywhere. And then I take my snowshoes and I strap those on top. Right now I'm walking on hard packed trail. I don't need the snowshoes. But by strapping them in here, when I need them, I've got them. And now we're pretty much ready to go. Now, today is only a day trip. I was just planning on coming out and having a bit of lunch. And I brought my saw and my axe, and I was hoping to cut up some firewood. Because there's an area not far from here where I do a lot of my winter camping. And it looks like I might be getting an opportunity to do some hot tenting on the weekend. So I figured if I come out today and clean out a bit of an area and pre-cut some firewood, that's going to help. Today it's hovering right around the freezing mark. It's not very cold. On the weekend, the weather's supposed to drop and it's supposed to be pretty chilly. I think the high is minus 18 Celsius for the day on Saturday, and the overnight low goes down to about minus 26 or 27, something like that. It'd be a good night to be in a hot tent. Sort of works out in my favor. Somebody's been through here with a vehicle, so I don't think I'm going to need the snowshoes, depending on how far they went, to get to where I'm going. So here's the area I'd like to set up in. Now, I wasn't expecting all this snow. There's not much on the ground. It's only about ankle deep. So I don't really need the snowshoes. But I can't have the camera out in this for too long. I think what I'm going to do for today is I'm going to set up a tarp behind me here. The fire pit, I believe, is over there. So I'm going to set up a tarp between these two trees going back. I'm going to find the fire pit. I'd like to shovel out an area big enough for the hot tent, so that when I come on the weekend, I don't have to shovel it all out. I'll just have to shovel out the little bit that falls today, because after today it's turning cold and there won't be any snow anymore. At least not until Saturday. But I need to keep this camera as dry as I can. So I'm going to put you away. I'm going to get the tarp set up, and then at least I have a dry area to put you. Now, as I was saying earlier, today's mission, get a bit of firewood, get ready for the weekend. We're going to have a small fire just to make a bit of lunch. And I would like to shovel out this area for the tent. But now that I've got you under the tarp and as protected as I can, I think I'm going to go over there and see if I can dig out that fire pit. Okay, so I found the fire pit and I shoveled a small area around it. Again, I'm hoping it doesn't snow too much today, but even if it does, at least it'll be that much less snow for me to clear when we come in on Saturday. Now I think I'm going to take a break from shoveling, grab my saw and my axe, and I'm going to go and see about collecting a little bit of firewood. So here's the plan. This is dead. Most of the bark is pulled off of it. Seems very dry. So I'm going to cut it down here somewhere. And if you look between these two trees, you probably won't see it. But there's another dead tree back there. There's some all over the place. But for now, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take that one. We're going to cut some of it up. We're going to get a fire going and get lunch. And then I'm just going to continue cutting firewood for the afternoon. Now, we don't need a big fire today. I just need something to warm up my soup. The main purpose of being here is to work anyway. So I'm going to light this fire. And then I think while I'm cooking my soup, I'm going to start shoveling the snow so that I can stay close and keep an eye on what's going on. Once the soup is hot, we're going to eat. And then I'll go back to cutting some firewood. But in the spirit of that, I'm going to make my life easy. I got a bunch of birch bark and a Bic lighter. Today's lunch, nice and easy. President's Choice Italian style wedding soup. Pour that into the pot. Get that over the fire to warm up. Take my garbage, bring it over the sled so I could bring it home later. Now, as I said earlier, this is pretty much the area that I want to put the tent in. So if I shovel some of this snow out of here, it'll be that much easier when I show up on Saturday. Well, I think this should be a big enough area for the tent. And like I said, if it ends up snowing like crazy and burying it again, at least it'll be that much less for me to shovel when I come out. Now I think the soup is almost ready. So we're going to go and check on that. Okay, let's have a look at this soup. Oh yeah, some nice steam coming out of there. Oh, I'm gonna put that up there so it stays warm for now. Bust out my crackers. Now I'm going to let that sit for just a minute. Let those crackers soak up some of that soup. That snow just doesn't seem to want to stop. We weren't supposed to get any snow today. Oh well. Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna finish this, and then we'll get back to cutting some firewood. Lunch is done. Time to cut up some firewood. Now, what I'm doing is, there's a small little bank here, and then just at the bottom of the hill is where I'm going to be setting up the camp. That's where the fire pit is right now. But I figure because I'm cutting wood, and I won't be back here until Saturday, to give me a fighting chance at having wood when I get here, I'm cutting the wood back here behind this hump. There's 2 trees right behind the camera, which I'll show you soon. I put some logs on the ground. As I'm cutting the wood, I will put it there. But I've got this nice little fork between these 2 trees. Helps to stabilize my log as I'm cutting. And I already pre-measured from the butt of the saw to this pin. That's the length I need for my stove. Now, when I can, I like to do like I'm doing today. Come in ahead of time, pre-cut some firewood, get some of the stuff ready. It's that much less work for me to do when I show up with the tent. Part of the reason is this weekend they're calling for very cold temperatures. And being diabetic, I can't let my insulin freeze. I have a little semi-insulated pouch that I put my insulin in, and it does okay. On a day like today, if I put it in that pouch and I leave it in my pack, it's out of the wind enough, out of the weather enough that it usually stays okay. No problem. But when it's very, very cold like that, it'll keep it okay for a while, but too cold is just too cold. So if I've got some firewood cut and prepped, when I get here and I set up the tent, if I see it's that cold, I can always light the stove in the tent, keep my insulin on the cot close to the stove, then I don't worry about it freezing. But if I have to come in, set everything up, cut all the wood, now I'm taking a chance. But like I said, if I've got a little bit of wood already ready to go, it doesn't even have to be all of it, as long as there's some. Then I can get the stove going and it'll keep it warm enough in there that it'll be okay. No, being a diabetic does not stop me. Yes, sometimes it does create more work. But it's worth it. Now I've got these logs here just to try and help keep this up out of the snow as much as possible. In my pack, I have a 4x6 tarp. Once I'm done cutting wood today, I will cover it just to try and keep it protected until I show up again on Saturday. But now you can see my workspace. Here's the area where I'm going to pile all the wood. And here's where I'm cutting the wood. Right back here with these two trees. Snow seems to be slowing down, which is good. But now I think I'm going to turn the camera off and just concentrate on cutting the wood, because the more I get cut today, the less I have to cut on Saturday. We got our nice little pile of wood cut. Some I'll use inside with the stove. Some is going to be for the outside fire. If I need more, there's plenty of other dead standing here. But at least now I've got a good chunk done for when I do come camping out here. I'm hoping it's going to be Saturday. So all that's left to do is go down and grab my tarp and cover this up just so that it doesn't get too wet with the snow and everything. Snow seems to be starting up again. And it's pretty much time to get out of here. I want to thank you all for coming along. Always a pleasure having you with me. It was a great afternoon. We got a lot of work done. It's going to make our next trip out that much easier. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. When you do, there'll be a drop-down menu. In that menu, select all. That should let you know whenever we put out a new video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.